Morning, folks. Sorry I'm late to work. This is Giving Psychology Away 110. Lorraine, come on, come here. Come on, up here. Come on. Oh, no jump so much. Come on, up. Come on. No, she's not going to get on camera for y'all. She had the runs last night. Fed her some animal pet kefir. Oh my God, what a mess. Folks, talk about messes. This government that we have is going to take us down. You do realize that this is an atypical war. The average jingoistic dumbass Democrat or Republican, whatever the hell they are, thinks that it's after the Ukraine. No. The United States of America has been the target the whole time. Whenever you hear this term, America first, did you ever think what it really meant? Did you ever think that it might mean we take down America first and then we get the rest of the prize? Because that's what it means. You got to get it through your head. You got to open your mind up and get a lot more flexible in your thinking. All you out there are too old. You're older than I am. You can't think straight. You don't have an open mind. You got to open your minds up and figure out what's up, what's going on. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to nuke us. That's what they want to do. They want to destroy America. It is our own government because we're waking up to the bullshit that they are. The liars, the thieves, the murderers, the police state. You folks deserve this. You deserve this stupid-ass president you got right now. You've earned it all. You've earned every bit of it. You have no choice but to get on your knees and pray to Yahweh. Or just kiss your ass goodbye. My Bible's available. Hit the link down below. There's a drop-down menu. 5 different formats of it. Get the big print. It's the best. Get the tab Bible. You know, it'll help you out as well. If you have not read the Bible, then get a tab version of the Bible. Spend the extra couple of shekels, couple of bucks, whatever you want to call it. Don't call it money, folks. It ain't real money. There's no real money anywhere. Not hardly anywhere. They've taken it all. They've stolen it all. So you think you can do better than Yahweh. You think you can do better to do it all on your own. Especially you Christians out there. Yeah. You know, you can't do it on your own. You have invented a religion. You have made up a religion whole cloth from that Bible. You better read it and find out what it really says. Yes, I have trouble with it. I have difficulty with it. I admit it straight out. I've only read it about 13 times. And I constantly have to turn to my big brothers, my older brothers, who have read it more than I have, and get input. And I need you to like my videos. I need you to share these videos. They are going to blow us out of the whole water, the whole world at this point, if we let them keep going. Barack Obama started this mess. Joseph Robinette Biden's going to finish it for you. I know I hate the idea of taking those two out of the office and putting that rhino that's all for the war in the Ukraine, the Speaker of the House and the presidency. But this morning I thought about calling him up and pleading with him, please take the damn office. And, but he won't shut this war down. It's carved in stone. George Soros is having a wet dream, folks. He gets his lifetime goal met, which is to destroy the United States of America. That's what he said he's going to do if it's the last thing he did. He's done a good job. He's got us fighting each other really well. Look at this. Look at the elections. Can we trust anything? And we've got a total police state, the stupid-ass Patriot Act. And what? They're going to do another false flag on us? They think they can get away with one? If the Chi-Coms float balloons over here and do an EMP attack on it, I'm going to assure you that it wasn't the Chi-Coms. It was your own Department of Defense. I know you call things the China virus or whatever you want to call it. It's all your Department of Defense. This government is against this people. It is really, seriously against the people here. You are not controlled by a constitution. You do not have a constitutionally limited government. You don't have a frickin' republic. You haven't had a republic in decades, probably a century. And you run around, oh, the democracy is falling. Look, you dumbass son of a bitches out there, you put up with this shit. I try to tell you about stuff. Oh, no, you got to mock me, got to give me all kinds of crap. I tell people, please learn his name, and they all got to ride on my ass. Look, I worked hard for my education. I worked hard to learn what I've learned. I worked hard to discover the little bits of the truth, the glimmers of light I've been able to just barely scoop up. Do I owe you anything? Do I owe you your education? Am I supposed to prove every damn thing to your ass? Are you that frickin' narcissistic that you think I'm your slave and I gotta cater to you? Oh, hell no. I'm Yahweh's slave, if anything. I'm his boy. That's all there is to it. He's got me. I don't do very good, but I try. I sure ain't perfect. I sure would like to be, I don't even want to be president anymore. It's that bad. I want to be the Fuhrer. The heck with it. I mean, this place needs to be romped on and it needs to be ruled with an iron fist. It's in the Bible. Look it up. That imagery is throughout the Bible. We have a problem, folks. We actually lost World War II and don't realize it yet. Yeah. And one of the leading families in that whole thing was called the Scherfs. S-C-H-E-R-F. Married into the Brown Harriman banking family, too, with Barbara. Come on, folks, you know their last name. They're name changers like the rest of them. Hell, that guy killed one president and tried to kill another one. He's a serial killer. Thank God he's in the grave. His family's still alive, though. They're still above ground. I don't think that's right. I'm sorry, but, you know, you've got some really wicked people that have been running this country for quite a while. You not only do you have that family, that crime family, but you got the other one on the other side. They're all working together to take you down, and they have taken you down. They've been doing this for decades now. We can even claim centuries. And then we can look at who's behind it. But it never ends. Doesn't matter how much you dig or which group you want to go after, or which part you're going to attack at this moment, because there's so many tentacles to this beast. Who can wage war against him? That biblical thinking applies in so many different ways, it's not funny. So welcome, folks, to the beast system. You're living in it. You've been captured. You have been deported out of your constitutional jurisdiction into a foreign jurisdiction, admiralty law. Quiet, good girl. Quiet, come on, good girl, good watchdog, come here. Lorraine, come on. Good girl, good watchdog. Oh. I need you folks to start waking up. You need to read the Bible. If you want to start with a good book, read the book of Judges. Read the stories. There's a couple of women judges in there too. You need to read that stuff. You really do. And there's a general in there. Guess what his name is? Barak. Yeah, Barak is in the Bible. You need to look at that too. Then there's all kinds of judges that stepped up to the plate, Yahweh's calling, and they did their duty to free their people up. And then the Israelites, dumbasses, made the same stupid mistake. They rested on their laurels, and then they decided to do it their own way, and they forgot Yahweh. And what happened? They went back to suffering. All the time and time again, they went back to suffering. And then they would plead, and Yahweh would hear their pleas, their prayers, and he would send them another judge. And then it might be good for a while. During the life of that judge, maybe one of their children as well might see peace. It's the same story for America today. You aren't going to stop this until you get on your knees and pray. And you need to turn to Yahweh, beg Him to show you the best choice for you. It's your choice, nobody else's choice. But why not do the best one? Why not discover the best one and pray that you have the resources and the balls, the gumption to take the right track? As hard as it is, as difficult as it is, it pays off. And at this point, I would say they're right on target for nuking America. They've got this whole thing set up so they can justify a nuclear war. It's really sad how those people behind the scenes play everything. I have met a member of the black nobility. You know what the black nobility is? Well, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. But I know there's a black pope. And I know this. They're the ones that run the shows behind the scenes. So your black nobility will tell those figureheads what the hell to do. And I met the one who had charge of that last bitch on the throne in England. These folks have been working this stuff throughout not just decades, not just their lifetimes, but it's been a family thing where they pass it on and pass it down to the generations. Strongest person I ever met in my life was a female. About my age. Best dressed I'd ever seen for a human being. Impeccably dressed. I'm pretty sure her clothes were made for her. And I'm going to tell you, she had a presence that was unbelievable. And I understand why now. She gave me her business card, introduced herself to me. And I looked at the card. I wish I still had it. She had 2 different endorsements on her card. She was a member of the Queen's Privy Council. Yet she's an American citizen. That ain't right. Also a member of the Order of the Garter. I don't know what the hell that is. All right, might sound kind of fun. Kind of kinky, kind of burlesque. Who the hell knows what it means? It probably means you're close to the center of power. That you're, right there, hidden away. You legislate morality. This bullshit about you can't legislate morality. My mentor, Dr. Glade Birch, one of a few of them I've had. Lucky me. Seriously. He told me, every time you legislate, you're legislating morality. You cannot get away from it. So every time that they tell you that they're not legislating morality, that they're going neutral, they're actually legislating for the other side, for the dark side. That's what they do. That's what they worship. This whole country has been dedicated to Moloch. Go look at the Bohemian Grove and what's that big idol that they have and all that. Go look on your dollar bill. What's the idol engraved up in the corner? The little tiny bird? What's that? Go look at the big ceremony they had in the middle of the country in 1933 and July 3rd. It was so popular, 3 days later they repeated the whole thing again. And don't tell me they were acting, folks. That was the real deal. You were watching. It's up there. It's a Getty video. It's not very long. Not very high quality either. 1933, World's Fair. Go look at it. You're watching the real thing happen. And by the way, those people that are partaking in that, they're not telling you truthfully who they are. It's in the Bible, folks. About 5 times that same damn group is in there. That's 5 different witnesses. It's not just twice. It's not merely a double witness in the Bible, which means pay attention to this, learn this. It's 5 times, folks. There are some things that are in the Bible 5 times. One of those was Yahweh speaking in amazement, if you will. that what they were doing was so wicked and so evil, it never even crossed his mind. It never occurred to him that they could do that sort of stuff. When Creator Father Yahweh God says it never crossed his mind, wow. How evil is that it's outside of the realm of his imagination and thinking and planning ahead, his consideration. And of course, their precious right of abortion. You need to spell right correctly. Spell right, right. Spell it correctly. It is spelled R-I-T-E. Four-letter word. Right. Sacrificial right. Worshipping right. And they got that damn thing legalized through your stupid-ass Supreme Court, just like they legalized and shoved gay marriages down our throats as well. They do all this stuff to destabilize society and to worship their god Molech, also known as Baal, B-A-A-L, Moloch, M-O-L-O-C-H. There's a few ways to spell it. Doesn't matter how you spell it to me. What does matter is you learn God's proper name, which is Yahweh, Y-H-V-H. And I know you're going to say, well, what the heck? There's no vowels? I'll take a vowel, please. Can I buy a vowel? They didn't have vowels in Paleo-Hebrew. You had to read it in context and understand. Vowels were added to Hebrew later. And in case you're wondering, it's really important. It was so important that the bad guys, I think they were bad guys, in 275 BC, they took Yahweh's proper name out of the Bible. And why did they do that? To throw you off? They used God and Lord and variations on God and Lord. In that way, they could hide the fact that they were talking about their evil gods, their evil ones, the wicked ones. So they got you all screwed up because of that. So you really do need the best version of the Bible available, which I happen to have, published in 2015, printed in 2019, and it's about half the price of the competitors. Get it. Get the big one. Make it your family Bible. Put it on your coffee table. Folks, this administration is on track. Those people in D.C. want to destroy you. They'll say, that's insane. Nobody in their right mind would want to do that. Well, first of all, they're not nobody. You need to think about them not being human. Okay? You need to get that flexibility. Wrap your mind around it. They are not quite human. They look like you or me. Yeah. But the Chinese, they refer to them as white devils. Now, why does the word, the word Caucasian in Chinese actually mean white devils? I know, it's on my other channel. Go look at the old videos on Awakening Israel. The channel is still intact. They gave me a warning, one more strike, and they're going to take the whole thing down. They do not like the truth. I have not commercialized either channel. There's not supposed to be commercials running on them. I do that for a reason. I don't want to sell their crap. I don't want it to be interrupted, and I also don't want the extra scrutiny that might garner. So I'm just trying to stay out there and survive on this. I will be going to another format soon. I do this all by myself. If I had money coming in, I'd be hiring people and putting them to work. But I don't. Buy my Bibles. You'll see that this is the cheapest price anywhere. The price ends in 77 cents. That's how they keep track and give me some credit. Do it, folks. The Bible is cheap. Why? Because we want to get it out there as fast as possible. This Bible is the proper name version of the King James Bible. It is better than the original King James Bible. Much better. Far more accurately translated. It's got the proper name of Yahweh in the proper places. And it helps a lot. And as a result of that, I find some of the assumptions that I make off reading the Old English, the Old King James Bible, are in error. So this one actually helps keep me centered, is what I find, and it keeps me from thinking up and conjuring up stuff that's not in the Bible. And that's been the biggest problem we have, is that these churches, these pastors, these big box churches sell you a bad bill of goods. They don't tell you the truth. And believe me, once you start getting into the truth that's in the Bible, it gets actually more difficult. But you understand why the world is the way it is today. You understand what is going on. Not only that, you understand what all the possibilities are next. So you know what's coming. And of course, the Jews supposedly made a mistake thinking the Messiah was going to come one time. And of course, the Christians now are making the mistake thinking the Messiah is going to come back one time. No. There's about 6 different days of the Lord in the Bible from my reading. And I don't see how they all happen at the same time. Possible? Not likely. My God, what a messy day that's going to be if all that has to happen at one time, one 24-hour period. And by the way, it's very literally accurate and correct. They even tell you about the coming catastrophes, about the earth age, the earth cycles. If you get into it far enough, go to my other channel. This isn't the Bible channel. This is giving psychology away. We cover political things. We cover psychological matters. We cover current events somewhat. You need to stop worshiping men. Stop worshiping any man. You need to beg Yahweh for forgiveness. You need to beg Yahweh to show you the way for your life, to work out your salvation, which I believe is worked out. It is individual. And I know there's all kinds of contradictions in there about how you can't do it yourself. It's got to be by faith. It's got to be this way or that way. Well, I got news for you, folks. I read it differently. And I'll admit it. Do I have it right? Nah, not all of it. That's for sure. I got more of it right than most, though. So if you really want to know what words to work on, look at the Bible. Look at the different words behind what have been rendered man and men. Those have been changed from the original words and the original meanings. You go to those if you want to understand the different types of men on the planet. And you go to those if you want to understand who the enemy is and who you are. Okay? It's all pretty literal, too. Take the Bible concretely. Take it literally. Don't spiritualize it so damn much, because you need to take it literal. When Yahshua, that's the name of Jesus, that's his real name, his proper name, it's in the proper name version of the King James Bible. When Yahshua speaks about an enemy sowing tares in the field, he's actually talking about what happened back at the beginning of this battle, the beginning of this war. He's referring to when a fallen angel named Gadriel, one of the 5 leaders of the fallen angels, seduced Eve, had sex with Eve, fathered Cain. Okay, you got that right? So, what ended up happening is the book of Joshua. Joshua failed to follow Yahweh's orders. And Yahweh, Creator Father God, ordered him at some populations to destroy them utterly. He didn't do that. He ordered them at some populations to save the women and children, save this or that, save the animals. And others, it was like, kill them all, kill the animals, kill the people. I mean, there were different orders for different villages. Why? Because there were different groups of people that had different weird stuff going on. Yahweh, Creator Father God, had worked with these sons of a bitches for at least 4 centuries to get them to stop doing their kiddie sacrifice. So we're dealing with the same people today. Don't you see the child trafficking stuff? Don't you see, hear about the torture of these children? The production of what a lot of people refer to as the elixir of life because it's so rejuvenating, gets them so high. It's a mild hallucinogen and empowers them. Very expensive stuff, produced at great, great suffering. And in case you're wondering, the number one child they go after is the white male. However, when you watch that video where they're putting the baby up in the fire, those were female children. And why did the crowd scream and yell and shout and all that? That was part of their tradition. So you couldn't hear the baby crying. Isn't America crying right now? Have you had enough? Or would you like to see the scriptures in the Bible regarding Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 being fulfilled? Look, folks, we found the ruins of Sodom. We excavated those a little bit more than a decade ago. We found the disaster level. For 6 weeks, people were speechless. They were so upset they couldn't talk to each other. And they excavated that entire level, and the bodies were centered out from a blast center. And in that level of ruins, they found this big crystal rock. They wanted to know what it was. They hauled it back to New Mexico, to Sandia Labs. People at Sandia Labs took one look at that rock and said, "Where did you get this?" They demanded to know. And of course, the people told them where they got it. And the reason Sandia Labs wanted to know is because that crystal only exists at nuclear atomic blast sites. That's it. So hellfire and brimstone is what God did, Yahweh did, with a couple of angels there after getting Lot out of the place. And Lot's wife turned to a pillar of salt. Go read the Bible. The stories are in there. They used nukes on Sodom and Gomorrah. So there is a precedent for nuking hellfire and brimstone. And in case you're wondering, this nuclear war is in the Bible. Is it inevitable? I don't know. But if you read carefully, and if you want to know more about it, there's a fellow on YouTube here, Rex Tibosaurus. He did a recent video 3 months ago, which updated his presentation, put it all in one video. His original videos were put up 12 years ago. Was there a nuclear war in the Bible 2,500 years ago? I reviewed his materials and looked at it. I found a mistake, Rex. You got the year wrong. It was more than 3,000 years ago. Otherwise, you got it all right. And it's scary. It's scary because of how accurate it is in the Old Testament. And Rex did such good work. I'm really grateful for it. Folks, you need to look at those videos. There's 3 parts on that thing. Rex goes into the words, into the translations in context, so we can understand what the prophet was seeing and describing as best he could 3,000 years ago. Did they have nuclear weapons then? Did the public know about them then? No, they didn't. So he wrote about it in his contemporary terms. And he got the dimensions right for the MIRVs, got the dimensions right for the missiles. Folks, you need to understand something. The evil ones read the Bible too. They look at it as a big playbook. And they also believe that God gives them permission to do this stuff, to bring his judgment upon us. They think they're doing his will. The sad thing is, they might be. But then I'd have to tell you, we have it coming. We deserve it. What do you think this nation deserves? I mean, look at how imbecilic our government is. Did you want war in the Ukraine? Do you want a nuclear war? Did you want to go into the Ukraine and destroy those people? Is that what you wanted? You wanted to expand NATO and NATO's power? Why the hell is there even NATO anymore? Should have been gone a long time ago. And so we're letting them bankrupt our nation? President Woodrow Wilson said there is a power so big, so vast, and so great, actually he used the word conspiracy, that none dare whisper under their breath against it. least they be overheard and retaliated against. Woodrow Wilson knew what he was up against, and he sold the country out, and he admitted that. Go look it up. He got you your Federal Reserve System, your FBI, and your ADL. Probably more than that, actually, but that's enough. 3 for that year 1913. And then J. Edgar Hoover, a man who actually headed up the secret police and formed the American Stasi. He lived through the reign of 8 different presidents, some of whom had 2 terms. 8 times 4, 32. And how many of them had 2 terms? So what was he in office for? 40 years? 50 years? And he said the average American is dealing with a conspiracy so vast, so large, that he could not wrap his mind around it if he wanted to. And of course, today, you dumbasses out there don't want to realize what's going on. My family was like that. They didn't want to hear the truth about what's going on. They still have problems because they watch the damn boob tube. You ought to just throw the damn television out. Stop listening to the big channels. They're all controlled. Everything in this nation is controlled. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing happens by accident. We have pipeline diplomacy. We did that to our allies to force them into the war. Wouldn't we call that an act of terrorism if anyone else did it? And you got a dumbass in the White House who can't even wage this war properly. I'm sorry, folks, but I'm not sorry. This country deserves what it's going to get. We have earned it completely. You don't want it? I don't want it? Fine. Let's conspire together. Hit that drop-down box below. Buy one of the 5 formats of my Bible and read it. If it's a boring section, skip over it. Go to another book. There's plenty more to read. Just read through it. Read the history. Learn the plot, the names of the characters. Just read through it and take it as a concrete. Don't try to make a religion out of it. Don't try to interpret it. Just take it at the concrete level to start off with. As you read through the Bible, it will open itself up to you. And it opens itself up to you in ways that are peculiar to you. And so when you get together with other Bible readers, you will find that the Spirit is there and the Spirit is strong. If you respect each other and brainstorm and compare notes, you're going to enlighten each other. You're going to sharpen each other. And we need some strong men at this point. We are at the end of the earth age. And at the end of an earth age, the earth produces weak men. The beginning of an earth age, the earth's children are strong. The problem is as our magnetic field wanes, and it's going to accelerate, it's going to drive people and other species crazy. We are going to lose stability. So if you think you're going to be able to lie and hold it together and get away with it, I got news for you. You can't. So don't try that. You have no choice but to live the right way. What's the right way? Start with the 10 Commandments in Exodus chapter 20. It's actually just plain natural law. That is the foundation of all of Western civilization. And the Israelite peoples have been scattered across the earth. Scattered way across the earth. And we've intermingled like crazy too. I mean, we've got mixes out there, and a lot of these hybrids, if you will, these mixed species, these mixed races, they got claim to the Israelite heritage as well. Some claim. Come on, folks, loosen up a little bit. Relax on that stuff. You need to. You need to understand that the civilization that we have today came out of the Polynesian area from the last Earth Age. And those survivors took ships. They ended up in the Middle East. The Phoenicians. That's the alphabet the Hebrews borrowed. The Hebrew language, they didn't even make their own alphabet, folks. They borrowed it from the Phoenicians. Read about the Phoenicians. You'll find out that they weren't such good people. So, there's a lot of connections in the brain. The majority of connections in the brain are inhibitory, not excitatory. In other words, most of the connections on your brain are to dampen, to modulate yourself. Your emotional system, your limbic system will go kind of wacky on you and will make you do some pretty weird stuff. But your higher level reasoning and functioning, especially the frontal cortex, which is so doggone big, it inhibits you so that those evil spirits and impulses don't come forward. And all it takes is a minor brain injury to change everything for you, and you lose your civility. You need to be grateful for those blessings. And the problem is this magnetic field weakens, certain centers of the limbic system are going to get a little bit more active and get kind of wacky. And in particular, what we're going to see is a stimulation of two centers in particular of what I'm concerned of. The first one is the amygdala. Why? Because it mediates rage. Oh, what else? And fear, that's right. Rage and fear. Paranoia. You can't rage on somebody else without the risk of stimulating your own paranoia. It's a feedback loop, if you will, a self-correcting mechanism. So when one son of a bitch rules over the other son of a bitch, he gets worried that there's going to be a bigger son of a bitch come along and rule over him. And they get paranoid. So it's a check and a balance. So if you've got paranoia, better look at how you're living. Yes, you can control it. You can actually shape yourself up more than what you think. And you do that through character building. Read the Bible. You do that with Yahweh's help. Pray for help. Pray for wisdom. Pray for guidance. Pray for the resources and the wherewithal to take the road less traveled, to take the better route for you. The other part of the brain is the amygdala. No. That's what the almond-shaped part. The other part of the brain is the hippocampus. Why am I worried about that? Well, I'm worried about that because it has to do with memory. It has to do with long-term memory, short-term memory. There's other centers of the brain for short-term working memory too. I know. I've had some impairments. 2006, I suffered 2 strokes. I ended up being humbled. It took a long time to sort it out and figure out what had happened to me. I was under too much stress and strain. The Arizona Board of Psychologists examiners were a bunch of assholes to me, and they're disastrous on the whole country at this point. We will go into that. We will go into that. Believe me. They need to be put in their place. Yahweh's taking care of all this, folks. You just need to tune into the right channel. You need to tune in to the good spirit, not the bad ones. You need to program up your computer. If you keep putting garbage in it, you're going to get garbage out of it. So read the Bible, put good stuff in it. Overcome the prevalent brainwashing in our society. The CIA's brainwashing, in case you're wondering. Folks, my profession manages this planet, this plantation for the masters. We haven't done very good by you all. We had the best psychology in America until about 1983. At that point, it was downhill, and now it's the worst ever. So I tell you right now, stay away from me and my kind. Avoid psychologists like the plague. They are so freaking liberal, they will never respect you. They will never respect your values. They will not allow you to coexist. As much as they preach coexistence, oh, hell no, they're not going to give you a chance. And they're always going to make you the problem. They're always going to put the diagnosis on you rather than on the other son of a bitch that really has caused the problem. They have no semblance, no justice about them. They don't give a damn about the truth. They really care about manipulating you and keeping you coming back so you can pay for their airplane or their sailboat or whatever else it is. And they won't fix you and send you away running on your own independent life. They don't want that. They want you dependent upon them. And they give you this diagnosis and say it's for life. You can't overcome it. You're stuck with it. You'll be on medications for the rest of your life. People grow. People change. People mature. Life gets better with age, provided you're doing the right stuff. Read that book. Buy that Bible. Read it. Read the stories for just entertainment, the historical aspects of it. There's a lot in there. There's quite a bit of evil in there, too. There's some bad stuff in there. There's some drama like you wouldn't believe. You think your family's got problems? I think my family's got problems. You should read about the problems in the families in the Bible. We can use those to help us grow, to help us overcome, to help us in building character. However, when it comes to judging the other son of a bitch, forget about the content of their character. Why? Because you don't know the intentions. And you can't go say, they didn't mean to do that. You judge by the behavior. You consecrate based upon behavior. What they do, that's what you judge on. It's not what they intended as much as what they really do. Because there's a lot of deception going on out there. So I hope you understand. If you start behaving the right way, your character comes around. If you start behaving the right way, not only does your character come around, but it percolates up and those Axis 1 diagnoses get relieved. Axis 2 gets relieved. The personality foibles, they start to go away. They start to remit. You can change. You can grow out of it. And you can reduce your mood disorder, control it, control yourself, modulate yourself, get a handle on yourself. You can do that. And you can also help yourself out with your thought disorders as well, so you can handle it all. It takes time. You have to give it time. If you got a bipolar disorder out there, I'm going to tell you it's going to take a decade of therapy to pretty much get a handle on it. But be careful who you go to. Do not go to one of these liberal assholes. Do not go to somebody that does not respect you or your values, or tells you you have to change. You have to abide by somebody else's dumbass pronouns or something like that. If you got a person like that, forget about it. We're supposed to, as psychologists, value other people's value systems, respect their value systems, treat them within their value system, treat them within their tribe, within the context of their culture. But we're not allowed to have white pride. We're not allowed to have European cultures. We're told we have to have diversity. Well, I'm going to news for you. Most white people don't even know their backgrounds. They don't even know the diversity that they come from. And you talk about more diversity among Caucasians than there is anybody else. We've got more traditions out there, more languages, more cultures. At least I think we do. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, and by the way, there is a tribe in Africa. Okay, they're Negroes. And that tribe knows more than most people on the world. They know where they come from. They know where their roots are, and they describe it. They describe the planet they come from as having two suns. A binary system. You see, folks, we're all outsiders here. We're all invaders, basically. Caucasoids were placed here last. Adam kind arrived late to the game. The early man, the earthy man, was here for probably 2 million, 3 million years before Adam kind was placed here. And before Adam kind arrived, your fallen angels were knocked out of the skies. Space battle. They were knocked down to the planet. And your earthy man had records about it. And the records say that they never saw the woolly-haired ones, the black woolly-haired ones, until the arrival of the Caucasians. However, their word for Caucasian is white devil. So the fallen angels arrived, and they brought with them the black woolly-haired ones as slaves. They've maintained that relationship through several earth ages at this point. You don't know what an earth age is? It's approximately 12,000 years. Yeah, it's in the Bible. Read the Bible. You want to know about stuff outside of the earth? Then go read the book of Job, the oldest book in the Bible, the oldest of the scriptures. And realize that a lot of these stories come from the previous earth age, before the last destructive round, before the last rebirth of the earth. Well, if you tuned in on this far, I hope you've been blessed by this. Do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, help me to rise above the algorithm. I just broke 200 subscribers this last week. I'd like to see 300 come up a little faster. If you got any advice for me, put it in the comments. If you got criticism, well, you can email me, and you can go to my blog, givingpsychologyaway.com, and you can contact me through that. You can read about my background. I read about my background and go, shit, you really did all that stuff, man? Wow. Feels like another life at this point, but yeah, I did pretty well. I did okay, but I'm not satisfied with it. And I have a new mission now, and that's restoring America, saving the planet, because I think that we have the other way we can go. I think that we can correct ourselves and restore a republic to the point where other places want to join the republic. That was my vision quite a while back. I wrote that to your previous president in a letter. Didn't get acknowledged. Sent him a Bible, and I got a thank you note. Folks, there's so much I want to tell you. Come on back. Come see me sometime. Yahweh bless. May you bless Yahweh. May Yahweh make America good again. Because when America becomes good again, then America might be great again. It's not going to happen any other way. America needs this humbling. America needs it badly. If you can't sort your life out or sort out what's going on right now, then get on your knees, ask Yahweh to show you the truth. There is a command in the Bible, throughout the Bible. It's a running theme that I pulled when I read the new NIV, the New International Version Study Bible. I have the original from 1983. And it kept saying to me, almost yelling from the pages, love, truth, and justice. It wasn't a suggestion, folks. It was a command. And you won't hear anybody else talking about that. You're going to hear about it from me. Another thing you're not going to hear is that the earth groans for her saviors. There is an S on the end of the word saviors. Saviors are plural. All life on the planet hangs in the balance. We could have thermonuclear blasts at any time. Then again, read the book of Jonah. Jonah didn't like Nineveh. He didn't want to go do Yahweh's work there. And as a result, a storm comes up, he gets thrown off into the sea, ends up in the belly of a fish, finally gets spewed up on the shore, has been corrected, chastises, okay, Yahweh, I'll go back and tell them, and he complains about it. He complains to Yahweh. And look at what Yahweh says to him. It's a real short book. But look at what Yahweh says to Jonah. And look at what the results were. And by the way, Nineveh did survive the last earth age, the change. So did Baalbek. Baalbek survived the last two earth ages. You can see the previous architecture, which was grander as you go in the past, with the subsequent architecture from the next Earth Age built up on top of it. There's 3 levels there. That's testimony right there. You want to know what an Earth Age is? Go hang out at the Grand Canyon or drive up Navajo area in Arizona. You will see the folds in the earth. Each one of those layers of white is an Earth Age. And about every 5th layer is dark black basalt. Real serious Earth Age. The volcanoes go active. Folks, make this show go active. Make this thing go viral. Make it go radioactive so we can stop the coming Holocaust, a real Holocaust, real fire, real hellfire and brimstone, or as Rex Tibosaurus interpreted for us accurately, sacrificial fire. Go look at Rex's videos, one 3 months ago and the 3 parts 12 years ago. Yahweh bless. That's all I got for you today, folks. Over and out.